Come on. My internet's been bad. There we are.
No. Hey, that was a long wait. That was a long.
I think it's my internet because I've noticed my internet has been really off today. I don't know if it's from the storm or what. But hey, welcome to Winephabet Street.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy November, the 30th already. I mean,
almost December.
It is flying.
I did my hair. I put makeup on just for Winephabet Street today.
Woo! Woo! So happy Thanksgiving to everybody to celebrate. I had a great Thanksgiving. I had my wonderful mac and cheese because everybody who listens to Winephabet Street knows I don't eat meat. So Mike made me this awesome, like multi-cheese mac and cheese with all the crispy breadcrumbs in it.
Nice.
It was really, really nice. And of course, we started with, we did start with sparkling, but I did not saber on Thanksgiving because we were going at a slower pace. And as much fun as sabering is, you can't kind of reseal it to keep the bubbles in.
Right.
So no saber, but.
Yeah, no, we started with champagne as well. And there was 8 of us.
Nope.
So, which we were supposed to be 15. So, which is fine. It was fine.
Right.
It was just, me and Paul, my son and his girlfriend, my friend Jen and her mom, and Gus and Megan.
Right.
So it was just the normal people that, are in my bubble. So
that is nice.
We ate a lot. We had hors d'oeuvres. We had, a lot of food. Paul made an awesome ham.
Oh.
He really outdid himself on the ham. So, but anyway, it was nice. We had an El Marino, and we had 2 bottles of Gamay.
Oh, very nice. I had a Gamay also. I felt obligated to have it. Oh, I just had Gamay. I just had a Gamay.
Yeah.
From Oregon, I had a Gamay.
Okay.
So, but today we are talking about the letter N, and we are on Nebbiolo. And I got to tell you, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of Nebbiolo. So,
I am too.
Yeah.
But what was interesting? It was so hard not to go down the Barolo Barbaresco
rabbit hole.
When I was researching this. I had to really force myself to stay on course, and I found myself going, Barolo, no.
Yep.
Go back in.
Yeah, it was a rabbit hole that was never going to end if we went down it. Yeah. But we'll get into. I'm sure I touched upon it just because I thought it was a fact, but didn't go down the rabbit hole. Just basically went blah blah blah, and that was it.
Yeah, me too. So
yeah. So let's start the video and then do intros.
Okay. Sounds good. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Michael. Are you hearing it?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABC. Next time won't you sing with me? Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z.
What happened?
I don't know. I had this brainstorm that the reason why it was echoing was because on this little button here, it says mute for you, audio mute for you. But then I didn't think you could hear it at all if I muted it. So I turned it back on. Did you hear the whole song from the beginning?
Yeah, pretty much. But it didn't end the song.
It didn't end. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Let's try this one more time. Tell me if you can hear it. Like, give me a thumbs up if you can hear it.
Oh, wait.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W,
All right.
Okay, and no echoes.
That was a wrap.
All right, so that is exactly what it is. I've got to mute myself because I think what's happening is the computer is playing it and then it's being heard on my microphone and reverbing it back.
Gotcha.
So let's see. Episode whatever in season 2. I solved my problem. So anyway, for those of you who do not know, my name is Lori, and my husband and I own Dracaena Wines. We specialize in Cabernet Franc, and this is a big week for us. December 4th is Cab Franc Day. We are officially releasing our 2018 Reserve Cabernet Franc on Friday. For that, our club members have already received it, but it's going out to the public. And let's see what else. There's quite a bit going on Twitter for Cab Franc Day. And on December 3rd, Michael Kelly of California Wines and Wineries is hosting the second annual Cab Franc Day competition. So look forward to the results of that also. And thank you to Michael for being such a proponent and a helper of me getting Cab Franc Day out there. So thank you.
And I'm Debbie Giaquindo. I'm known as the Hudson Valley Wine Goddess. I'm a wine blogger and a wine writer. I'm the author of Tapping the Hudson Valley, which is day trips and weekend itineraries to visit the Hudson Valley wine region. And I'm co-owner of Kitchen 330, which we had to close in October, but we did find new space. We close on it December 18th. It's bigger and better in North Wildwood, and we're going to have a name change.
Oh.
And you guys will hear it first. It's going to be called Trio.
Trio. Oh, I like it. I like the name.
Yeah.
Very
so
nice.
I've been, kind of a little hard at work here. I actually, we're not going to get into this. This is Winephabet Street, but
well, congratulations.
The next few months go, I will reveal a little bit here and there. But
each episode a little bit hook to lead us in.
Yeah, we're hoping for an April-May opening. We have some hoops to go through, but yeah.
Awesome.
So and I think, thank you. So and we serve wines.
Yes, and you will actually, if it's April, you'll be like the first to serve the Chenin Blanc.
I can't wait. Looking so forward to it. Yay. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Looking forward to it.
Well, with that being said, it's time to raise the glass. So,
I didn't even pour yet.
Oh no! But I do love that sound so much.
There we go. Cheers! I've been dying for a glass all day.
There you go. Slancha.
Oh, nice.
Ooh. All right. Ooh. I will get started with our history. Nebbiolo facts, food pairings. Okay. All right. The history of Nebbiolo. Okay. So when you think or you hear the word Nebbiolo, your brain, or at least my brain, goes directly to Italy. That's where, it's from. That's where we think about. Not saying you can't have great Nebbiolo from other areas, but that is truly where Nebbiolo's home is, and that's where its history began. So the history started and pretty much is still in the Piedmont region of Italy. And the first mention of Nebbiolo was way back in the 1200s. And the first quote that seems to have been found, which is in some article called The Documents on the History of Piedmont, where it appears in 1268 that the grape varietal was cultivated in Rivoli. And this is in the hills of Turin. And I want to go, because that just looks beautiful. So during the 18th century, while the Brits were having their issues with the French, they discovered the Nebbiolo grape. So what happened was they traveled, they found this grape, and they fell in love with it. But it was really difficult to transport the wine from the Piedmont to London. And so that really stopped or halted the ability of the grape to grow in other regions. The vineyards planted, Nebbiolo continued to grow and actually did really, really well until, like everything else, phylloxera hit in the 19th century. But unfortunately, when they replanted, many of the vines were planted to Bordeaux varieties. So today it is estimated that only 6% of the total acreage in Piedmont is actually still dedicated to Nebbiolo. I actually had a really difficult time trying to find proof of its origins. It doesn't really seem to be very well documented, but the popular belief is that it began in the Langue, Piedmont, but there's also another pretty strong belief, or that its original home is in Valtellina. So those of you who are watching, you can see this map. Those are two very distant areas. The Langue is down in the lower left area, and the Valtellina is in the upper right quadrant of the photo. However, in the 1st century, Pliny the Elder noted exceptional quality of the wine produced in Palenzo region, which is located northwest, which is actually now the Barolo. So the Barolo region. So there's a lot of controversy of where it actually started. And, you know, Valentina says it's them very proudly. And, you know, Piedmont, the Langue region says very proudly it's them. And I don't know, but Pliny the Elder seriously loved his alcohol, because whenever you talk about, yeah, right? Whenever you talk about the history of anything alcoholic, there is a quote from Pliny the Elder. I mean, he just very involved in alcohol. Good for him. Okay. Nebbiolo has a total area of approximately 5,500 hectares, and more than 4,000 of those are located in the Langue and the Roero regions. Although both regions produce a varietal Nebbiolo, there is a difference in the wines that you would find in your bottle. So the Roero takes its name from the territory and is produced with 95% Nebbiolo grapes, and the remaining part can be other red grape varieties. So if you're going to purchase a Nebbiolo from the Roero, it's going to say Roero. It doesn't say Nebbiolo on the bottle. Okay. Well, Nebbiolo d'Alba combines the name of the grape variety and the name of the largest city in the region, and that is 100% Nebbiolo. Okay, so Nebbiolo d'Alba, you know it's 100% Nebbiolo. It is believed that the name comes from the Italian word for fog, nebbia, and since fog is so prevalent during the harvesting of the grape. So the fact that there's fog plays a very important or has a very large impact on Nebbiolo and its characteristics and how it is harvested. It is synonymous with quality in the Piedmont region, but with its high tannins, you benefit with patience. Okay? Nebbiolo is a grape that is used in both Barolo and Barbaresco. The Barolo DOC was one of the first appellations in Italy to receive designation, and that was shortly followed by the Barbaresco DOCG. As the saying goes, this is how you can remember this stuff. So as the saying goes, all thumbs are fingers, but not all fingers are thumbs. And I'm not really sure that's like a really, really famous statement, but it was on Big Bang and it always stuck with me. The same holds true for Nebbiolo. All Barolos are Nebbiolos, but all Nebbiolos are not Barolos. So going back to that fog, right, and plays such an impact or has such an impact on the growing season of the Nebbiolo, Nebbiolo is often referred to as or having similarities to Pinot Noir. It's a very finicky grape to grow and requires very specific conditions. So if it ripens late, it ripens late, but flowers early. And because of that, it has a very long period of time that it's very susceptible to the environment. So rain, hail, all of that plays a major impact in Nebbiolo because it's so, I'm blanking on the word, so precarious during those times. It's so open to the elements. There are several similarities, as I said, between Nebbiolo and Pinot Noir. And as being known as, in addition to its temperamental growing season, Nebbiolo also has different shades. It has different clones and different subvarieties, just like Pinot Noir does. The most popular subvariety is Lampia, but Michet, which is spelled Michet, is deemed to have a higher quality and is seen in production more. Bola is similar to Lampia, but has a tendency to be overproductive in its vegetative state, so it's not very well grown, not often grown. The final subvariety is actually Rosé, but it is extremely rare. So, there's a natural occurring Rosé of Nebbiolo, but it is very, very rare. So one of the worst events that has ever occurred in the Nebbiolo history actually occurred in 2002 when there was a hailstorm which damaged the majority of the vines. And the vines that were lucky enough to remain safe from hail were then bombarded with an excessive rainfall, causing those that were left to have extreme mold concerns. So 2002 was a really, really bad vintage for Nebbiolo. Genealogy was conducted in 2004, and in collaboration with UC Davis and the Instituto Agrario de San Michele al Diageo, how's that? Found Nebbiolo to be related to Piedmont by way of two aromatic grape varieties, the Frisia grape of Piedmont and the French Rhone variety Viognier. So the research would further suggest a parent-offspring relationship between Nebbiolo and several Italian grapes, including Frisia, Buberasco, Nebbiolo Rosé, which is the subvariety I mentioned, Vespolina of the Piedmont region, and the Lombardy grapes Negrata and Rosala Nera. An additional DNA analysis also suggests a parent-offspring relationship with the Lombardy grapes of Brignola, which were previously thought to be the synonym for the Emilia-Romagna grape Fortana. So kind of a bit of controversy of where it actually originated, because it's very prevalent in those two main areas, and a large fingers reaching out to DNA to relationships of a lot of different grapes in Piedmont as well as Lombardy. That's my history.
That's your history. So I'll go into characteristics, which some of it is you covered.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay, but that's the beauty, Do I start? There we go. So now we have the characteristics.
There's that fog.
Yep. So Nebbiolo is the grape of Piedmont, Italy, where the name comes from the word nebbia, which means fog, because the fog that rolls into the hills where the grapes grow. And the grapes, the vines where the grapes are rise above the fog line. And the Nebbiolo is a thick skin, early to bud, late ripening grape that needs lots of sunshine. And it likes to sit south or southeast facing slopes where it's exposed to the maximum amount of sunlight. Although it's late ripening, it's early flowering, and it is susceptible to the spring frosts. And the spring frost, that happens everywhere, but this Nebbiolo is just right for that. Very often it is compared to Pinot Noir. for both the tender loving care is needed to grow and to the body and the flavors. Nebbiolo wines have high acidity and tannins, and that provides a backbone for age-worthy wines. There we have a nice picture of the grape. The two most popular clones are the Lampia and the Machette. Lampia is the most popular clone used, and Machette is more highly valued clone, grown for the quality and concentration of the wine produced. It grows best in calcareous marls, but it's a vine that really absorbs the soil, whatever the soil is comprised of that it's grown in. So Nebbiolo comes in full body to lighter body wine. And this is where I almost went down the Barolo rabbit hole. So the Barolo is the big daddy of Nebbiolo. This is where you get the full body, high tannins, age-worthy wines. Barbaresco is grown in different soils, and it tends to be a little bit lighter, a little bit more acidic with lighter tannins. And from the other regions, the characteristics as the soil changes. And, Lori, remember when we went to the Barolo Barbaresco tasting in New York before before the world changed?
Yes.
I mean, as I was doing it, I was thinking about the Barolos and the Barbarescos that we were tasting and the differences of them.
Yeah. Very different. And I got to give shout out again to that app, because that app was the best thing ever.
That is. Oh, I have that on my phone. Yeah, I should take a look at that. That has tons of information in it too. Yes. But it was I was thinking about that. So here on this slide, it shows you the more bolder ones all the way down to the more lighter body wines, and the regions that are covered, that it's grown in. So characteristics, let's smell those roses.
Mm-hmm.
Nebbiolo tends to be high acidity, mouth-drying tannins with flavors of cherry, plum, strawberry, raspberry. There's floral notes of roses, violets, leather, licorice, and herbs. But lots of roses. And then as it ages, the tannins will soften and the wine will turn a brickish color in the glass. And the flavor profile will also change to that of more dried fruit, a little bit more gamey, prune, earthy notes. You'll get some fennel, some tar, some mushrooms, a little bit of truffles as it ages. And that was it. I had another thing. So when the season is cooler, Nebbiolo will tend to get a little bit more herbaceous with more sour cranberry fruit notes, roses, leather, and a little bit more minerality. So
yeah, it's I really do love Nebbiolo. It's the roses, it's, they talk about blind tasting and doing things like that. I really don't consider myself a very good blind taster. There's certain things that I can spot, but the roses I think are a true giveaway to Nebbiolo. I just, the cherry, I love the red fruit of it. I just absolutely do. And when we were at the Barolo Barbaresco, it was like each and every one was just as good as the next one. It really, it was. But granted, we were tasting the 2016 vintage, which is like one of the top vintages. So it really was fantastic. But so let's talk about this. Mine, I'm kind of a little disappointed that you can't see the color of this. This is really a pale red. This is a very Pinot Noir-esque thing, but it doesn't look like it in here. When I poured it in,
mine's a little darker. Mine's more like a, when you say Pinot Noir, and you want to compare this to a Pinot Noir, this is more of an Oregon Pinot Noir.
Okay, this is
darker, but it's a garnet color. Mine, nice garnet color.
And I can very clearly see straight through. Like mine is a very pale garnet color, and it is so translucent on the edges. And then on the nose are those roses.
Oh yeah.
And I know it's supposed to be, they say cherry, but the thing that my nose always reminds me with a Nebbiolo is a sour cherry, those drops.
Yeah, you mentioned candy. That's what I wrote down in my little notepad here was sour cherry.
Yeah, like that's what gets me. And I don't know if it's childhood memory that makes me love Nebbiolo so much, but those little sour cherry balls were like one of my favorite things.
And that's from roses to that sour cherry-ish.
Right.
And layers of the aromas.
And mine definitely has licorice in there. I being East Coast versus West Coast, it is red vine. It is not Twizzler. It is a red vine licorice to me.
Mine has the licorice on the finish. I definitely have sour cherry. Nice, it's acidic. I have like puckering tannins with a finishing of red licorice.
Yeah, these tannins here are they're there. They're not overpowering to me, but this baby can sleep. It definitely can sleep for a bit.
Yes.
Now let's share. What did you get?
Sagestio.
Oh, Sagestio. Oh, okay.
2018.
Oh,
what did you get?
So I got La Sacrestia. La Sacrestia.
Okay.
Which is also from the Lang region, the Nebbiolo.
You got a 2016?
2016,
nice.
Baby.
I only had a choice on the two Nebbiolos on the wine shelf, and I can't remember what the other one was. But
it was a little slim picking on saying Nebbiolo on there. I had a lot of choice of Barolo, a lot of choice of Barbaresco, but I wanted to get one that had Nebbiolo. And it actually is lovely. How much was yours, Deb?
It was like $20.
Yeah, mine was $18.99. I will say one thing: Nebbiolo is not cheap. It's it's under $20, so it's not bad. But in terms of a lot of the wines that we can find on Winephabet Street, this is a little, and like $19 was the low end. There was one for $35. There was one for $40. The majority of the wines that I saw were like $25 to $35. That was the general price range of what I was seeing. But it was really, really, really difficult in fact, it was impossible for me to find anything on this winery. Completely impossible. So it is a 2016, and as soon as I saw that I could, there were like two or three.
Got 2014.
Oh, okay. There were a couple that I can choose from, and one was, I think, was a 15. One was a 17, and then this one was a 16. And I was like, nope, going with the 16 because that was like the best vintage going. But La Sacrestia is in the Lang region of Italy. And according to James Suckling, it says fresh red currants, cedar, and spices, light to medium body. It is light bodied. Crunchy berries and a tangy finish. And it is recommended that this wine pairs with rich, heavy meats and sauces, but also pairs with moderately spiced Asian cuisines. The alcohol on this is at 14%. And now here's the thing. I couldn't find anything about the winery. Now I did find, well, that was snazzy. I don't even know how I did that. I did find the Vinoteca at La Sacrestia, and I kind of think this is part of the winery. I'm not sure, but this seems to be a wine shop, and I was trying to zoom in to see if those were all of their bottles or if they were different bottles. But like, look, there's meat hanging down back there, and so I don't really know.
That's prosciutto hanging out back there.
Yeah. So at the Vinoteca La Sacrestia, you will find a selection of best wines of Piedmont and beyond. Barolo, Barbaresco, Arnese, Nebbiolo, Dolcetto. So I'm not sure this has anything to do with the winery. The only thing I could legit find about the winery, look at that room. It's beautiful. Again, tried to zoom in on that bottle and see if it was La Sacrestia. Couldn't do that. So that is the actual label. And the only thing that I could find anywhere on the internet was Friday, January 12th, 2018, a U.S. federal trademark registration was filed for La Sacrestia.
Wow.
That's it. And that 2018. So, and this is a 2016. Yeah. And then with the barrel requirements, aging requirements, I'm guessing that they just came to the United States in 2018 and filed. So
they were one of the wineries that when you go to some of those trade tastings, they're looking for to import.
Right. Now I will say
Karen.
on the back of it, it says imported by Voto Vines Importing in Hamden, Connecticut. And you know me, I don't really do booze on people, but very boo to them because I sent them 3 emails asking them to give me any information about this winery that they had, and they ignored all 3 of them. So boo to them. So that's my wine. I'm enjoying.
I didn't realize it was going to be public.
I actually did tell them. I told them I do a podcast and a live stream webinar. Yeah. We're talking Nebbiolo. I have this wine. I would love to be able to share more information about them and you tell people how to get the wine. And they ignored all 3 emails. So,
well, mine is imported by Skurnik. So there was information and a website link.
Right.
So let me go to, mine. Okay. So mine is Segahiso. Is that how you say it? Segahiso?
I don't know. When I saw I didn't look at your PowerPoint, but I saw the name and I thought it was Segisio in California. So I had no clue.
So Segisio, I have a 2018 Nebbiolo from the Long region. It's located in the heart of Long on the eastern side of Montefiore d'Alba. They farm 10 hectares and produce 5,000 cases a year. They also, in addition to Nebbiolo, they produce Dolcetto d'Alba, Barbera d'Alba, the Nebbiolo, and Castillo's Barolo, and the classic La Villa. And this is the family. It is a family run. And when you have a dream, you save every penny to make it happen. And that is what Editor Suggestio did. He was actually a tenant farmer, and he saved all his money. So he would, work and sell the, work the land. He saved all his money to purchase the farm from the owners in 1964. And at first, he just sold the grapes in bulk to other producers in the region. And in 1988, his son Aldo and Ricardo took over, and they began bottling the wine under this label. 10 years ago, in 2010, Aldo passed away unexpectedly. Ricardo runs the winery with Aldo's two sons, Sandro and Marco, along with his daughter, Michaela. So that's the fam right there, which is really a heartwarming story because, they say he saved, purchased it, the kids took it to the next level. It's really nice to see that. So their philosophy is to craft wine that reflects the terroir and the grapes that they're made from. And they're committed to protecting the quality of the environment. And they subscribe to SQNPI, which is Integrated Crop Management National Quality System. And it's a certification for which integrated farming that aims to increase the product quality while protecting the environment. So the vineyard uses environmentally sustainable plant protection products, and they focus on reducing the use of herbicides. And that's the wine. The wine's made 100% Nebbiolo, produced in the Monteforte Alba region. The soil is clay and calcareous marl with a bit of sand. The vines face the northeast, 350 meters above sea level. Maceration on the skins for between 5 and 6 days. Stainless steel tanks for 8 months before being finished in the bottle and released. 500 cases are produced.
Oh.
So.
Very nice.
It's very nice, this wine.
It my wine is very, very nice, but patience will make it better. It will only get better with age.
I think this can be aged. This can sit for a while too.
Yeah. It has a very and it's not a negative, but it has what Nebbiolo is. It has that very tart finish.
Mm-hmm.
So as it ages, that kind of Nebbiolo, it mellows out a bit, and it softens a bit. But it's definitely drinkable now. And I mean, I'm drinking it on its own, but with food, it would be making a whole different ball game. But so with that being said, let's talk about some food. Guys don't know. It's
I know, Michael. That's what it said.
What I missed. What did Michael put?
No, it's stainless steel tanks for 8 months.
Yeah,
that's,
it was a little.
That's what we got from that's what I got from the website.
Well, because it's not a Barolo or Barbaresco, it may not. Right. It doesn't have the regulations of the aging that a Barolo or a Barbaresco have. They can make it whatever they want to do. Right? Goes back to the all Barolos are Nebbiolo, but not all Nebbiolos are Barolos. All right, so let's do some food pairings. So because Nebbiolo is typically a full-bodied red wine that tends to be high in both tannins and acidity, but it has rather delicate fruit and floral aromas, it pairs well with more acidic and salty foods. So when choosing a dish, you want to look for either fattier meats or dishes that are made with butter that are going to help tame those tannins. So you want to, if you're going to choose a gamey meat, it's going to kind of blow this wine away. It's going to just kind of put it out of tilt for you. So Nebbiolo also pairs well with spice-based dishes such as Asian cuisines. So when choosing the dish, you want to also, like Debbie had talked about, those levels, or not really levels, I'm sorry, those types of Nebbiolo, right? So from the lighter to the fuller, you need to make sure you know which Nebbiolo you have. So Barolo needs food that will stand up to its strength in both its acidity and tannin, so you can't have a light food with a Barolo, where this you can have a lighter food with, okay? Because it's a lighter, what I'm drinking is a lighter version. It's a straight Nebbiolo and it's lighter. So be aware of what is actually in your glass. Don't just pigeonhole yourself into that this is Nebbiolo, okay? All right, so first suggestion is braciole de maillet à la bright, which is fancy for grilled pork chops. Now, again, not eating that, but actually the rosemary, I think, would complement mine very nicely because of the flavors that are in there, the aromas. It's so floral, and rosemary is so floral to me. I think it would be a nice match. And pork chops are really a lighter, it's the other white meat.
It's lightweight.
Yeah, right. So that is bistecche alla pizziola, which is beef fillets with tomato sauce. Now, I personally think that would blow my lighter bodied Nebbiolo away, depending on what's in that tomato sauce. I can't speak on the beef aspect of it, but it would have to be kind of a lighter tomato sauce in order for, I think, it to go with this. But I think if it's light with just a little bit of seasoning, I think it would go. Deb, how about yours? What do you?
I'm just trying to pair the acid. So I think it would depend, I think mine might go okay with it.
Yeah.
I don't know so much about the beef, but I'm looking more at the sauce. With the wine.
Right. Okay, next is ossobuco.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is roasted duck. So again, it's a lighter white type of meat. And the radicchio and the fennel and all of that and stuff, I think would go.
I think that would be a nice compliment. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this is actually cauliflower soup with fried sage and brown butter.
I'm liking that.
Yeah, I'm thinking that is a winner chicken dinner there. I think that's a big hit, especially the sage and the brown butter. I love the
fried sage leaves.
Now, I am not I don't eat cauliflower. I love broccoli, but I don't eat cauliflower. But what entered my mind was butternut squash with the sage.
Yeah.
And I think that
would go well with that.
Yeah, I think so. I think so also. And then this, Mike is going to have to make me this because this just sounds delicious to me. Spaghetti squash with sage and walnuts.
That does sound good.
Right. Again, and that's along the...
It's baked in the squash bowl.
Yeah. It looked... They do the spaghetti, because it's spaghetti squash, right. So it's easy to get those noodles. And then they roasted the skin, and then they put the noodles back in. Pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. And again, that's kind of along the lines of a butternut squash. It's in that same squash family.
Yeah.
And then farro and sweet potato risotto.
Okay.
And I never can do food without cheese. So a charcuterie board with salted meats. The salted meats were like born to go with this.
Yeah.
And cheeses such as burrata, Parmigiano Reggiano, cow's cheese, or goat cheese. So quite a bit of variety on the cheese level also.
Sounds good. Always get hungry after the food portion.
Yeah.
And now we'll go on to slides towards the end here. So we got our facts. Let me get my. So here we have the grape, the Nebbiolo grape, and it's an ancient grape that has been referenced as far back as the 13th century. The first quote about Nebbiolo appeared in 1268 in the document on history of Piedmont, where it states that the varietal was cultivated in Rivioli in the hills of Turin. Now, I know you covered this too, Lori, but I was trying to find like a scripture or something.
Yeah. I couldn't,
and I couldn't find anything.
Nope. I did attempt to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. And
there was no hole.
I must have spent like an hour looking for something like that.
There was no hole.
And then here we have and we have the same Wine Folly photo here. Nebbiolo is a sole grape in Barolo and Barbaresco, and you can only make Barolo and Barbaresco if you grow the grapes in the certain villages in Piedmont. Otherwise, it's labeled Nebbiolo. And that goes to your saying, Lori?
All Barolos are Nebbiolo, but not all Nebbiolos are Barolo.
Nebbiolo grown in the land hills on the right bank of the Tanaro River is sold as Lang Nebbiolo. If it's grown on the left bank, where there is a sandier soil, it's sold under the name Nebbiolo de Alba, produced with 100% Nebbiolo, or Roero, which is produced with 95% Nebbiolo, and it takes the name of the territory. Nebbiolo grown in the Asta Valley is called Picacunter, and is grown in the Piedmont area of Boca. Bramatera, Fara, Gattina, Guim, Lasana, and Cesano, and it's called Spana. Now, I know I'm terrible at pronunciation, so I apologize for that. And here, Michael, I used your picture. Nebbiolo grows best when planted on the south or southwest facing slopes at an altitude of between 820 and 1,500 feet, where they can be exposed to the maximum sunshine. And they grow well in the calcareous marls. In the Lang region, Nebbiolo is grown on the tops of the hills, and the lower vineyards are usually planted with Dolcetto and Barbera. And this is due to the morning fog that settles in the valley and the hills where the Nebbiolo are planted above the fog.
Yes, you can see the fog. You can see the fog there.
Yeah, and Nebbiolo the fog plays such an important role. And it says, which I didn't do, decant for at least 45 minutes to 2 hours and serve in a Pinot Noir shaped glass, which I didn't do either, and I have that. I have a Pinot Noir shaped glass. And of course, that's downstairs. And I didn't look at my slides before. I mean, I did this 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And I came up and just grabbed my glass.
Well, that decanting, as we know, acts as an aging, sending in that oxygen is going to age it a little, take away some of that tannins, and wonderful. But so, ladies and gentlemen, that is Nebbiolo. And
yes.
I hope you enjoy Nebbiolo. If you don't have a lot of experience with it, just go out and give it a try. Go find some Barolos, go find Barbarescos, do side by sides, because those are always interesting. And honestly,
even just I love a Nebbiolo from the Lang, and you can taste the difference, and age them as well. Buy two, drink one now, and then age it, or use the Coravan.
Right, and we do have California wineries that are making Nebbiolo. Jacuzzi, Karen has a Jacuzzi. That's an Italian winery in California, up north. But there's there's Nebbiolo here in the United States also. So give that a try. See how that compares to them, you know. So
so we're taking December off since this is the last day of November. December can be a pretty hectic month. I don't know, you know, with limitations and stuff. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. But we're going to take it off, and we're going to come back in January with the letter O.
Yay! And
Orange wine and Craig Camp. Orange wine at Craig Camp from Troon Vineyards. So here is the URL to
register.
Register, yeah. I'm telling you, this aging thing sucks. And looking really forward to seeing Craig and talking orange wine. He is just such a knowledgeable person, super nice.
And I don't think there's anybody, as you said, that's more knowledgeable about so many things, but especially orange wines. And so we're honored and thrilled to have him as a guest. And again, that's going to be January. So we're January 18th. So we're going to take December off, and we wish everybody happy holidays. Please stay safe. Please stay healthy. You know, hopefully January, February, we see the vaccines start coming through. So happy holidays. Yeah. Stay safe. Yeah. And thank you for joining.
Holidays. And thanks for joining, and cheers.
And I'm empty, but cheers. Okay. And don't forget, December 4th, Cab Franc Day. Be on Twitter. Pay attention to everything. And I'm December 3rd.
Hashtag Cab Franc Day.
Hashtag Cab Franc Day. And December 3rd is the Cabernet Franc competition. And I think Michael's going to be working really, really hard, because I think he's anticipating giving out the results by the 4th. So
and I know as a competition runner, it's hard to do. So kudos, Michael. Kudos for your hard work. Yeah. So take care, everybody. We'll see you in January.
Sláinte.
Cheers.